We did. We eloped as well. We went to Reno. We were there for
Okay.
like, the weekend and stuff, and I was like, "Let's get married."
Mm-hmm.
We did the whole city
See?
hall thing and everything.
That's
It
what
was
we were in Vegas and um we were in Luxor and we were on shrooms, like a lot of shrooms. Okay.
nice.
And it was just our little like staycation. We were there for 2 days because we're long distance. And so he's in Arizona, I'm here. And
Okay.
so whenever we visit each other, we're always at one of our homes, so one of us is hosting kind of thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah.
we had the chance to be in Vegas for 2 days and we didn't have to work. We didn't have to do anything. We had no responsibilities. But we also didn't have any money. So we were like, I guess we're just doing drugs in the hotel room. And it's like, that's fantastic. Let's do it. So the last day we were there, he made mushroom tea and he makes fantastic mushroom tea. It's so good. And then we just binged watched a marathon of 90 Day Fiance. I got him hooked on that show. I completely got him hooked on the show. I'm so excited. And sometimes those are our FaceTime dates. Like we'll sync up an episode or something and then we'll be on FaceTime on our laptops and then we'll watch a show together. And that's kind of
wow.
a way that we have dates together.
That's great.
And so we were so during the show, like we were laughing our asses off, like crying laughter, right? Like just the shrooms. And then he looks at me and he gets like really serious and he's like in my face and he's like, I have never been able to talk this much shit with one person. I'm so in love with you. And I was like, I love you too. I was like, we should totally get married. And then we started laughing again. Like it was the funniest shit I've ever said in my life. And the next day we started packing our shit up to check out. And he goes, you want to go get married? And I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. And we went to the fucking bureau. We filled out everything. We got married in pajamas. Like it was just like, what? And then we had plans for the following weekend to go to Washington State. We went to the Gorge, huge music like venue, and we saw Above and Beyond there. And he was planning on proposing there.
Wow.
So and he was he was like, I was going to propose to you here. So you actually saved me a step. And I was like, well, fuck, like, damn it. Like I missed out on that.
Wow.
So I ended up making a huge sign anyway that said, this is our honeymoon. We're just married. And then I printed out my Venmo QR code.
I saw that on Facebook.
Did you see
that was so incredible. And you had like lights around it.
And I put lights in it. Yeah. With like inside the boa that like, and I held it around for 3 days. And people were very nice to us.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
That's so good.
That is super cool.
Yeah, it was pretty dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And he's a comedian too. So like,
yeah.
So I thought I would never date another comedian. I was like,
Wow.
I've learned my lesson, dude. And then he shows up and I'm like, well, all right. Damn it. Here we go again. So
well, we added him on Facebook because he's family now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. That's true.
And based on what you just said, the fact that he married you because he can talk the most shit with you, I love him already.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you guys to meet him. You will love him. It'll be so great.
Hell yeah. When we got married, so we live in Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Tracy.
Yeah.
And when we got married, we went to the courthouse or whatever it was to fill out the paperwork.
Yeah.
And the people in front of us, they're like, the people in front of you that just were here are also from Tracy. And we were in
what?
Which was pretty crazy. Yeah. And then we went to the wedding. There's 50 wedding chapels, right? I'm exaggerating, but there's 50 wedding chapels. We looked on the internet. I found one that was okay. This one's neat. We'll go to this one.
Yeah.
And they were there right in front of us.
It was so crazy.
As we were walking in, they were walking out. Actually,
no,
that same couple. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, we didn't know, like, because we had to go and get to the bureau first and like get the license and shit and pay for all that. Mm-hmm. So then we walk back to the car. We get in the car and we just both sit there and look. And then he looks at me and he goes, "Well, now what?" And I go, "Start Googling chapels, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, we have to go talk to somebody. Like, And so like everyone's first question is, did Elvis marry you? And I'm like, no, that's so much more money. Like, no. And so you pay, like, there's tiers for like weddings that you get paid, you can get in Vegas, you know, like this, you can get the very basic one where you're just like, you know, here. And then if you pay more, then 10 friends can come. If you pay more, then you can borrow a dress and flowers from us, you know, like, so there's all these tiers and stuff. And we ended up getting the package that was called Sign and Go.
We probably did that too, the lowest tier package.
Yeah,
we didn't even get pictures because we were so sweaty because we
right. Yeah, our pictures are hilarious. Our pictures look like we're at camp. Like it's just like we're in flip flops. And we walked into this place. It had a chalkboard sign out front that said walk-ins welcome. And I was like, perfect, babe, look. And we walk in and she goes, hey guys, do you want to get married? And we go, yes. So we approach like the display case where like the cash register was and stuff. And she's like, all right, cool. Here's this guy. He's like, all right, guys, face each other. And we're like, it's right now. Oh, it's right now. Okay.
At
okay.
the register?
Cool. Yeah.
we went to another room that had chairs. Nobody was there,
they had the other room available, but we didn't get that package. So we got the married in the lobby package. That's what we got.
I guess we're bougier than I thought. The dude even put on like a fake robe or whatever to marry us.
Stop it. Yeah. God, yeah. No, you guys had some fancy shit, yo. We didn't have any of that. The woman right after the marriage, he was like filling out all the stuff. They let us go and take like selfies and stuff like in the place where they had set up stuff. And the woman like says to us, she was like, hey, my name is Anne, and I'm just letting you know because I'm your witness. That's why it's written here, you know, and stuff. So then I sent the picture to my sister, you know, I was like, hey, bitch, you have a brother-in-law now. Like, we're married. And she goes, her first question was like, who the fuck is Anne? And I was like, I'm sorry she got to see it just because she came to work that day. Like, I'm sorry.
Anne knew.
She was so pissed.
At least you had an answer for her, and you're like, I don't know who Anne is.
I don't know her. We're connected forever now, but I don't know who that is.
You should call the chapel in a year and ask for her. Like, hey, Anne, how you been?
Hey, bitch, we're gonna come to our anniversary.
We need you to witness
it. In the lobby.
And we got married on 7-Eleven. We got married on Slurpee Day.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah, we did.
Got married on 7/13.
What? Is yours 7/13? Yeah. I didn't know they were so close.
Yeah, well, not this year.
Well, no. Not this year. No, I know you guys are a couple years ahead of us. You guys have been married for what? 3 years? 2 years? 3?
Four since 19.
Oh, 4 years? Is that real?
Yeah, we've been together since 2010. Got married in 2019.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh, you guys, you're so cute. You're so cute.
Hell yeah. On that note, hey everybody. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Hypothetical Comedy Podcast.
That's right.
I'm Funky Sam Medina.
And I'm Athena Rodriguez.
And we're here with comedian Chelsea Bearce.
Hi.
What's up, Chelsea?
Hi, friends. I forgot that we're actually doing a podcast and not just hanging out.
Casually, having this conversation.
I love this.
I actually love those podcasts where you just like it starts in the middle of a conversation. It's just like, oh, hey, we're here. Hey.
Yeah, I like to just rip it off like a Band-Aid,
Yeah.
Like, hey, look over there, and like rip it off.
Oh my god.
Some kind of violence. It's 10 in the morning, dude.
It's like probably a very like not even sticky Band-Aid, but he makes it sound really
right.
You know what's funny, Chelsea?
I wouldn't want to have a loose tooth around you, Sam. I wouldn't want to.
Just don't give me a string and a doorknob. So we went to Martinez to do your show a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And we pull up and I'm like, this is a really nice neighborhood. I don't know why she said not to leave anything in your car. And then Athena goes, no, that's the show we're doing in Oakland. Like, oh, right.
I was so confused. I was like, did I put that? I've never said that before in my life.
No, the show in Oakland told us that.
Yes.
Not leave
Yes.
anything.
The next day, we did a show in Oakland.
Oh, you had the show the following day, right? In Oakland. Whose show was that?
It was Comedy Oakland. It was our first time.
Oh, yeah. Did you do both shows?
No, we just did the first show.
Oh, the first show. Okay,
Yeah,
that's a fun. I like that show. It's a fun show.
It was super fun, and like that venue or that show was one of my like comedy bucket list shows.
Wait, was that your first time doing Comedy Oakland?
Yeah.
Stop, you guys. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
it's so funny. Fun. Like I feel like I'm doing like half comedy, like half business conference because of like the setup and like the room that it's in. You know, it's like, welcome, hello, come on, it's a meet and greet. Like, let's do an icebreaker question. You know, it's such a weird room, but it's fun. I like it.
I like it.
Yeah, it is. It does feel like a business room.
Yeah, like a conference. Yeah, like they're at a singles event or something. You know, it's like, all right, I'm gonna ding the bell and you're gonna switch tables.
Every time somebody posts pictures though with that background, I'm just like, oh, I want to have that background so bad.
I know. Yeah, I get
so
excited
cool.
for comedy backgrounds too. Yeah, I definitely get excited about those.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, seeing like people's clips and stuff online and like figuring out which club they're at. Oh, I love that. Yeah, like behind them.
Oh yeah, I've done that too. Where I go, oh, that looks like a really cool place. Hey, where was that? I'm gonna try to get on there.
Yes.
Yeah. There's this place in I think Modesto or Manteca that looks really cool. It's called The Post. Oh, have you been there recently? Right?
Oh yeah. That's Roman. It
looks like like a neighborhood background. Is that the one?
I know. Miles and I did that once, and Miles said this looks like I'm on the set of Encanto, and I was like, yeah, it does. 'Cause they have like roofs and stuff and like storefronts, but you're inside, and so I'm like, oh, this is like that's not a room you want to be on mushrooms on. You know what I mean? Because it's like, am I in Alice in Wonderland now? Like, I don't get it. You know, that's a fun room though. Yeah, it's a fun room.
There's a bar in San Francisco called Tequila Mockingbird. And
I've never been there.
You do comedy up against this wall that looks like this big church painted on it. And so it's really weird and awkward. It's fun though. It's the first time I did comedy in front of a church.
Just likes cool backgrounds.
I do, yeah. I'm a observer of backgrounds.
There are worse things you could like. Liking a background's pretty cool. I like that.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Absolutely. So Chelsea, are you from where are you? You live in Benicia, right? Where are you from?
I do.
Where are you? Where
are you right now? You're not safe.
What room are you in?
I live in Benicia, which is very, very, people in the Bay Area don't know where Benicia is. Like, it's a very, very small town.
Yeah,
and it's one of those places where you're like, yeah, I think I've passed it once. You know, like that's the kind of town it is. It's very little. We have one main street. We have a parade for everything. Everybody knows each other. Yeah, it's one of those, one of those towns. Like when I came back from getting married, because I just got married. I don't know if we were recording when we talked about. I have no idea when we started recording. But when I came back, like I went to the grocery store, I went to the library, and I got stopped everywhere. And they were like, "Congratulations, we saw like what's it?" And I'm like, I don't even know if I know you. Like, thank you. That's so nice. Thanks.
Wow, that's super cool. But also, I mean, you're like this big comedian, so I'm sure that they kind of follow you a little bit too. A
lot of people follow me like locally. I have a following because I do trivia nights as well. So a lot of people come to my trivia nights. There's not many comics that are from Benicia at all. So, you know, the fact that I do that. And then like when I did, I was on Holy Moly, the game show on ABC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was on that. And I was very, very proud of Benicia when they interviewed me and they put the interview on TV. It's like, hey guys, I'm Chelsea. I'm from Benicia. And then like people in Benicia who didn't know who I was started taking pictures of their TV screen and putting it on like what's going on in Benicia Facebook groups. Like, look guys, a Benicia. And everyone's like, yeah, she lives here. Like she's here. You know, she went to school here.
At the grocery store.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. She'll be at the library on Tuesday. Come and say hello.
They talk about you like they talk about MC Hammer and Tracy. Yeah. Like I saw him at the grocery store the other day.
Exactly. Right. Nice. Remember that guy? So I live in Benicia. I moved back. This is one of those towns that you can't wait to leave when you grow up here. and live somewhere else, but then you can't wait to raise your kids here because it's such a small community. So yeah, it's one of those kind of towns. So after high school, I left. I lived in LA, I lived in San Diego, I lived in New York, and I just went out and just discovered, everything, like, explored, figured out who I was, tried a bunch of shit, and then eventually made my way back to Benicia. And that's when I had a kid. I didn't realize I was coming back to become a mom, but ta-da. So yeah, because I moved back in February of 2015 from New York, and I was pregnant like in August. Like,
it's so wild.
My kid was ready to be here
to raise kids.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
yeah,
it kind of, you
knew subconsciously in a way.
Right. Yeah. Like the universe was like, no, it's your time. Like, you've had fun, you need to be a mom and raise this kid now. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. So you like kind of just went all over the place and just kind of trying to discover yourself for a little while and stuff.
Yeah. Cause I grew up acting. So I have a bigger acting background than I do stand up. I've been doing stand up for 15 years, but I've been acting since I was 11. So I've been doing acting, like theater plays and musical theater, stuff like that. Like that's where my background is. And I still do plays as often as I can. I love the acting world and stuff. So when I moved to, I was doing theater and stuff in LA, and that's when I discovered stand up. My very first stage was the Ice House in Pasadena. So that was my very first time on stage. And I was like, oh, this is crazy, because they're two different worlds. Like theater and musical theater, is so rehearsed and you have to, you go and you practice and you repeat, and you're just perfecting this performance, and you're another character and you're memorizing lines. Whereas stand up, like, you're telling stories and you're telling jokes and it's just you up there. And, it's like, yeah, we're telling the same jokes over and over, but we edit them, we change them, we hone them, we perfect them, and so, and these are also our words that haven't been professionally written or edited or, changed and, all this stuff with a group of people. This is just us, so there's two totally different worlds, but in a weird way, they merge together so well. Like I use my acting when I do stand up all the time and vice versa.
That's great.
So
I love that.
Oh. Yeah.
And it like almost enhances your arsenal, like going up as a stand-up comedian, because you're able to like handle people on the fly, and you don't really have, I guess, tells that you're like not feeling the crowd or anything. You can hold that face and keep the momentum and do that thing. That's great.
Yeah. That's very true. That's very true. Yeah.
I love it. So, well, did you want to start acting when you were 11, or were you kind of like influenced into it?
No, that was definitely me. I was always that kid who, would try to make somebody laugh, or see a room of people, and it's just like, oh, let me perform. And now my kid has it, and I'm just like, you're so annoying. Like he'll just, hey mom, pretend to throw a bomb at me, and then I'll throw my body down the stairs, and I'm like, don't die while you're with me. Your dad will get mad, I guess. So
you should count it out with pretend like I pretended to throw a ball.
Right. Yeah, we're really gonna sharpen those mime and improv skills before he gets to second grade. Like let's really get it tight, buddy. So yeah, like I've always been kind of a performer, and stuff. And so in elementary school, they would have like small little recitals and little plays like here and there. And these are plays that are like, 15 pages long, like they're bullshit pieces of shit. You know what I mean? But it's like, they're for kids. We're also 11 years old, and it's like, memorize what we have to, and so learning all those things is really difficult. So, but I would do that, and I having the audience, capturing them and having them listen to me, and I'm responsible for telling the story and for, that to me, it was I was instantly hooked, and I was like, okay. And then, I mean, middle school, I did, drama all 3 years. High school, I was in drama all 4 years, and so I was always on stage. In college, I did so many productions in college. And then actually in college is when, they rolled out a new class that was called comedic performance. And in my mind, I was like, oh, like the comedic character in a play. Great. I always get that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never playing the princess or the ingenue or anything like that. That's not me. I'm always the sassy secretary, the funky best friend, like that's always me.
That's cool.
And so I was like, this is going to be an easy A. This is perfect. Plus the professor was a director who's directed me in like 4 or 5 productions that I did for the college. So I was like, done. Let's do it. And we walk into class, and the very first class they said, okay, so we're going to learn the art of stand-up, and your final is going to be performing your own 10 minutes at the Ice House in front of like a sold out crowd. And we were like,
wow.
And half the class dropped out.
Oh, dang.
after class number 1, half the class dropped out. And I saw that, and I was like, wait, this many people are terrified of that? I'm fucking doing it. And I stayed. And that was the very first time I did stand up, was for my final. So.
Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Wow.
That is really incredible. Yeah.
It's a different story, because a lot of people, either look down on like comedy classes or something like that. Or they're just like, well, I'm always the funny one, so let me just find an open mic, and they just start doing comedy that way. And I'm like, wow, my story's completely different,
Yeah.
So, because I think that there is something to teaching somebody comedy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I took that class in college, and then I created my own course based on that. And I've taught people how to do stand up in like 2-day extensives, or like a 6-week course where these are the different types of jokes you can write. This is the way that you take someone off a cliff, where they expect you to go. This is how you write a setup. This is how you, think of a premise. This is what a set list looks like. Like there are all these different things that you can teach people about stand up. And the weird thing about stand up is you can teach them all this stuff. They can do exactly the opposite of what you say, and they can still succeed. Like stand up is so weird. You know what I mean? Anyone can do it, and anyone can do it their own way. It's the weirdest job on the planet.
It
really is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, some people look down on people who take classes and stuff, but everybody has their own story and their own way that they get involved into it. I didn't take classes myself, but then I also kind of learned as I went, and maybe, I would have learned a little bit more structure faster that way,
Right. Yeah. But then also you learning it, like learning while you do it is invaluuble, because then you're I still learn from the stage.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every time I learn.
Yeah, it's never ending. And that part is really exciting for me. Like I love that. And I would tell all my classes, as many times as I've taught this, I would tell them all, I view every show that I do as an inside joke, because you're never going to get this group of comedians, this group of audience members, and this group of staff together again. So let's make today, let's treat this like an inside joke. And that's another reason why I give a lot of audience members nicknames. I call them like beige shirt, like I've had people message me 3 years later, and it's like, hey, it's drunk whore. Remember you called me drunk whore? And I'm like, I mean, get in line. You know how many drunk whores I see? Like,
that's actually a really incredible way of looking at it. Because you're right, though. Like those amount of people, aren't in the same room again ever.
Yeah.
And so it is like an inside joke.
Yeah. And there's something so beautiful about like us all experiencing this, which will never happen again. Even if the same comics do come back, you're never going to get the same audience members, the same group of staff together. Even if they tell the same jokes, they'll probably tell them slightly differently. You can never tell what happens. What if someone drops a drink and we have to veer a little bit? Like, like there's all these things that can happen, but that's the danger of live performance. And that's why I'm so obsessed with it, because you have to be quick. You have to think on your feet, but then you're also creating this one of a kind experience that we're all having together. I think it's fantastic. I love that shit so much. Oh, oh.
Beautiful.
I'm getting all excited. Oh.
So after you did so I'm assuming you went to college in LA, right? Because that's what
I did. Yeah. I went to a community college in LA. I went to Pasadena City College. I went to college in San Diego as well. I have enough credits for 3 degrees and I don't have one.
Oh, wow.
I'm one of those where I'm just like, yeah, let's learn everything. Let's do that.
Wow, that's so cool though.
So yeah, I have a lot of college credits, but nothing to show for it.
It happens.
That's all right. That's okay.
You have the knowledge of it.
Yeah. But I went to school there because my initial like goal in life was to be an illustrator. So I was going to be an illustrator and work for Pixar. Like that was my end all be all. That's where I want to work, you know? And because I've always been artistic, I've been drawing since I was a kid, drawing and painting since I was a child.
So cool.
Yeah. And then I was an artist for Trader Joe's for 10 years. You know how all of their signs are handmade? So I was an artist for them for 10 years. And I actually transferred with them to New York so that when I moved to New York, I would have a job. And when I realized, like commercially, to become like an illustrator, when I realized if you were going to be an illustrator or an animator, a lot of the drawings that you're going to make are not going to be drawings that you necessarily want to make. You're making somebody else's vision come true. And then I was like, nope, that's not for me. I'm out. And I stopped doing art.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm not one of those who I can't work for somebody else to get rich and successful. I'm not that person.
Yeah.
You know, my last time clocking in at a job was in 2013. And from then on, it's like, it's me. I have to work for me. You know, I need to freelance. I need to figure my shit out. I need to, you know, do something that brings me joy, but also something that helps me thrive instead of my manpower making you richer. I can't do it. I can't. So, I mean, it's not easy because it's a constant struggle, you know, to do that. But, you know, I'm not dying inside, you know, and I feel like whenever I work for somebody else, I'm a little bit of me is dying inside. So.
But a lot of the stuff that you've done on the side, like to cultivate that, does have your artistic flair. Like Chelsea Got Cakes.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite things that you do is your beautiful freaking cakes and decorating.
Yeah, those cakes are out of this world.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's something I didn't even know I could do. I had no idea I could do that. And that happened right after I moved back in 2015.
Oh, wow.
I was in Benicia and I didn't know I was starting all over. I was like crashing on my mom's couch. You know, I was in this new relationship with, fast forward, the guy who I, you know, had made a kid with seconds after coming back to California.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't even know his last name. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I had a friend here, a childhood friend who lived in Pinole, which is right over the bridge from Benicia. So it's, I mean, maybe 15 minutes, right? And she had a cake business out of her home where she did like cakes and cupcakes and custom cookies, like with the royal icing and stuff like that. Like, so she did those and she hit me up and she was like, hey, I know you're back. I know we haven't seen each other in a decade. I hope you're good. Hello. But I remember you being really artistic and I'm looking for someone to help me a few times a week get baked stuff, you know, out. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, I mean, I haven't done art in a long time, but I've never done like edible art, which has always been fascinating to me. You know, that was a world that I was just like, wow, you know, those guys can do it, you know, and I'll watch from afar. Like it's, wow, you guys are great, you know? And then I started going to her house, like maybe 3 times a week. And it was giving me a little bit of income, but it was also teaching me that I could turn my artistic ability into like use another medium and, you know, and do it well. Cut to, we worked together for about, I don't know, a year and a half ish. And she got pregnant with her 4th kid.
Oh, wow.
And she said, I can't keep this business going with 4 kids. Like, I can't do it. I'm going to have to end the business. And I said, okay, I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing because I'm actually getting stronger, you know, and you've taught me a lot. Where there's a bridge separating us. So it's not like I would be impeding on your business at all. If you wanted to bring this back up, if you wanted to do this again, I think I'm going to veer off and go my own direction and do my own thing. Are you okay with that? And I did. And I started Chelsea Got Cakes on my own. And I mean, I can only do it locally. You know what I mean? Like for like local, like pickup, or if I deliver it to someone or something like that. But then when one cake went viral, I was having people from all over the world and they were just like, can you send me a cake? Can you send me a cake? And I was like, bitch, you're in Switzerland. Like, don't you have a bakery in Switzerland? I don't want, no. Because then you're going to spend $200 on this cake, but you're going to spend $1,500 on the fucking shipping. And I'm not doing, and
they'll get destroyed by the time it gets to them.
Right. And then that looks bad on me. Like, I didn't want to have that on my shoulders, you know?
Look what Chelsea sent me halfway across the world.
Right.
Mound.
What cake went viral?
I made it for Liz Stone, a comedian who at that time was based in the Bay Area. Now she's based in Las Vegas. And it was a divorce cake. So she was going through a divorce, and she sent me the specs that she wanted for this cake, and they were so specific. She's like, I want a cake that has the text messages from her soon to be ex-husband with the woman that he was cheating on her with, right? Wow. These cheating sex messages, right? She's like, I want those on the cake somehow. And I was like, okay. And then she's like, and I want a limp dick on the cake. And I was like, sure, you got it. So I print out these text messages on edible paper. I make this cake, you know, and it's not a big cake. It wasn't, it was more about the actual cake itself and not about like eating the cake. You know what I mean? So it was a very small cake. And then I used fondant and I sculpted this little dick out and had it hanging off the fucking, and then I put the words "buy limp dick" on it.
Oh my God.
And I'm not kidding. I gave this to her. The next day I went to Vegas because was I performing? I think I was performing there with Miles. And I posted it. It was the day before my birthday. I remember this. I posted that cake on my business page, on Chelsea Got Cakes, the Facebook page. And then I went and did the show at LA Comedy Club in the Strat. And then we went back and we were having some drinks and hanging out. And then the next day I woke up and it was my birthday, and I had more notifications in my Facebook thing. And I was like, this is a lot of birthday notifications. Like, this is way more than I usually get, you know, like, Jesus Christ. Turns out that cake that I had posted less than 24 hours before had been shared on my Facebook page 4 million times. And I was like, holy shit. So then we just kept watching the numbers growing and growing and growing. And I was like, no way. So then people started taking that picture and started posting it on their like pages and their Facebook pages and Instagrams and stuff. Cause this was before I learned about watermarking my photos, right? Cause I didn't know.
Yeah, because I mean, nobody's gonna steal your pictures.
Right. And then people started taking it. Look what I made. And then everyone's just like, no, bitch, that was Chelsea's getting like. So, yeah, it was lesson learned, but yeah, it was a crazy fucking, I have a picture of it. Did you guys ever see it?
Yeah, you know what? That does sound familiar with the text messages on it and stuff.
Yes.
I'm just imagining you trying to make a penis with fondant, just like rolling it around, just like.
I sure did. Oh man, I was pretty proud of that dick too. That was a good dick. Oh, I have it pinned at the top of it. That's the.
Oh my gosh, that is great.
That's the dick.
And it's funny because like of all the cakes that I've seen, that's a more simple one. Like
it's so simple.
You made some crazy elaborate ones, and that's the one because I guess everybody can relate to getting cheated on. I guess.
Right.
Everyone.
It's true. And then people are like, oh, that's how she broke up with him and blah, blah, blah. Like they were all making their own, you know, like narratives for it and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty funny. That cake. And now that cake, like every now and then, probably once a year, it'll like resurface. And me and Liz will find it on some sort of site or someone will post it on Instagram that from an account we've never heard of. And then she'll text me. She's like, hey, bitch, look, we're back. And then like, she'll tag me in it and then I'll tag her in it because she wrote a bit about her cheating husband and all of it. So then she's like, check out what the text messages say on my comedy special on da-da-da-da. And then she'll like put the link and I'm just like, this is so hilarious. This cake will never die, dude.
Oh, wow. That is amazing.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's really cool.
That is so cool. I love that.
That is really awesome. Hey, so going back to stand-up, you started doing it. Did you move to New York for comedy?
Yeah, kind of. I was still doing a lot of theater and stuff in LA. I was doing stand-up in LA. And I didn't like the vibe of LA. LA is very dog eat dog. World. I had people at auditions like hide sign-in sheets, or just like it was very cutthroat and I didn't like that. Yeah. And I was working at Trader Joe's at the time, and one of my coworkers, who's still one of my best friends on this planet, I've known him for half my life, but he was moving to New York, and he was like, I'm moving to New York, I have to do it. And I was like, God, I would love to do that. That's the dream. That's incredible. So he was in New York for about 6 months, and we would talk all the time. And one day I was on my lunch break at Trader Joe's in the break room, and he video called me, and I was like, what's wrong? Are you okay? And he was like, yes, but I love this city, and I know you want to be in New York so bad. I just need you. I know we can make this happen. Can you just like pick a day where you think, think months from now, but pick a day where you think you can just make it happen. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. Let me call you back. Let me look at my calendar. So I ended up telling him, I was like, okay, I looked and I started taking into account like my current roommate's birthdays and, like how long I would need to like quit a job and, or if I could transfer with Trader Joe's so I started thinking of these things and I hit him back and I was like, okay, like 5 months from now, it's going to be July 28th, I think would be a safe thing, and he goes, July 28th. And I was like, yeah, I think I can do July 28th. And he goes, okay, I just booked your ticket. And I go, what? He was like, yeah, bitch, see you soon. And like hung up. And I was like, oh. And then he sent me my ticket in an email, and I moved to New York on July 28th.
Holy wow.
Yeah. That's so like brave,
Yeah.
Brave.
But it's like, that's also the sign of a really true friend. Like he knew that I wanted to go. He knew that I would, drag my feet or find excuses, so he's just like, here's my gift to you. You're going to be in New York. I crashed on his couch for a little while, and then we ended up finding an apartment together, and him and I were roommates for the entire 5 years that I lived in New York. It was fantastic. It was so great. New York is a magical place. And I feel like every comic should spend time there. Even if you go there for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that, go and do comedy in New York. It is a magical place. And it's so dense. You can do so much comedy in such a short amount of time because there's so many places that you can do it. New York is one of those places. I don't know if you've ever heard this statistic. There's so many people in New York that if all of them came out of the buildings, there wouldn't be enough land for all the people in New York. Isn't that nuts?
That is pretty crazy.
Because like the buildings are so high and there's so many people just densely populated in the state that it's like if everyone like in Manhattan came out of the buildings and just stood on the street, there's not enough land for them.
Those apartments are just like stacked on top of each other. Yeah.
Right.
People are just up. People are just like on top of each other.
Yeah, or below. Like there's a bunch of underneath.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts?
That is really crazy.
Yeah. There's another statistic I read. I think this was like a New York like book I read or like an account that I follow or something, where you could eat at a new place, like a new restaurant for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in New York City, and you wouldn't visit the same place like for 3 years or something like that. Like something insane. Like it's just a weird, like what? Like wrapping your head around something like that. It's just like, whoa. All right.
It's so cool. I would love to go to New York. I still haven't been. So I want to, not only to perform, but like you said, I like to travel because of eating.
Yeah, me too.
I like to try new places and new foods and stuff. New York has a lot of like, big things. I mean, what pizza is like one of the big ones, but also Chicago. But there's like a lot of differences in the water that they use and, you know, the place that they're in. And so I think besides comedy, if I wasn't a comedian, I would still want to travel there to.
Oh, absolutely. You would have, and doing like food tours or whatever, you know, like eating the bagel and seeing all the cream cheeses that they have like displayed like gelato. It's just like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wow. Like I've never seen that many flavors of cream cheese, just rolling hills of cream cheese in display cases. And it's like, what?
Oh my God.
I was impressed at Noah's Bagels. They had like 5 different kinds.
5?
Something like that. Yeah. I was like, there's so many choices here.
Oh man. You need to spread your wings, Sam. We gotta take you to this magical place called New York.
Spread my cream cheese.
It's like, no, maybe that's 5.
I know. It was exciting. So at what point in your comedy did you really feel like that you have something that you can kind of run with this?
It's funny because I feel like I feel like your comedic voice changes, you know, like I feel like all of our comedic careers kind of go through seasons, you know. I mean, I had been doing comedy for maybe 9 to 10 years before no, is that true? Maybe 7 or 8 years before I met Miles, you know, and I was like, I had a pretty good grasp on my point of view, my perspective, what my comedic voice was. And then he helped me, get confident with crowd work, which I never thought I could do. I was like, wait a minute, like but just talking to someone, dude, like what? I was like, and he like encouraged me to like, he's like, what's the worst that could happen? Blah, 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 you know, and stuff. Yeah. And so once Miles and I became closer, and he started, you know, just making it okay for me to do crowd work and encouraging me to do crowd work. That's when my comedic voice kind of changed and strengthened. And I feel like I unlocked kind of this new dimension. It's like, oh, you know, like, and it's one of those things, you know, because now I'm in my 15th year, which is crazy that I started in 2008. I think 2008 was my very first time doing stand-up. And yeah, I feel like every single person can do stand-up so completely differently, and it can still succeed. It can still work, you know, and that's the magic of this. You know, how do we take our experiences, make them general enough for the public to relate to, but then also take them somewhere where they don't expect, and then have them trust us to laugh at this? I don't know. It's just, I feel like trust is such a big thing, you know. Like I was hosting at Sack Punch this last weekend. We had our last show last night, and I was hosting with for Alex English, who's a writer for Saturday Night Live, and he is fantastic. And being a host, I feel like, especially in America, gets kind of shit on, you know, like it's considered kind of like, you know, the weakest, When you do Canada, and I knew this because Miles would take me on the road and we went to Canada. Canada treats their hosts the way that Americans treat feature comedians. The one, feature comics that go up right before, they're like, the host has to be solid, all this, because we start the show, and then the host in Canada also has a mid-show set as well. So they do kind of 2 sets, in a show. So, yeah, I think my favorite part of this whole weird ass thing that we call a career is the fact that everyone can do it completely differently. Everyone's voice and perspective is completely different and completely valid. But then it's, how do I take these really personal things that happen to me and have you not only engaged and listening and entertained, but then to make you laugh, to make someone laugh is crazy. Yes, in a comedy club, you're going in there with the intention to laugh. Yes, you have to buy 2 drinks, which definitely helps, so it's like all these things are kind of in our favor. But if you think about it, especially like a table of like dudes, like there was a bachelor party at the club last night, and they started like going with Alex English, like questioning him and challenging him. And they ended up having like a full on debate where the manager on site came up to me and they were like, should we stop this? Should we kick him out? And I go, no, he's a writer right now. Like right now he wants to get to the bottom of this and he wants to resolve it on his own. Don't end this, but you go in and like you never know who's going to come. Who's going to be problematic? Who's going to start something with you? Who you might offend? And all we want is to make them laugh, and just to make someone laugh is really one of the best things on the planet. But it's also kind of difficult to do. Everyone thinks that this job is so easy, because they're like, well, I'm the funniest person in my group. Every time we're at a party, I make somebody laugh. And it's like, yeah, because you guys are a group of friends that have shared experiences. So now when you recap them, everybody's on board with you because you guys all experience that together, and it's funny. Right. But let me shove you into a back room of a bar that you've never been in a city that you don't know, strangers. with 40 tech strangers who you have no idea, they don't know you, and make them laugh for 25 minutes. Ready, set, go. It's like, that's the difference. So it just feels like magic. It feels like a magic trick every time I do it, and then it goes back to that inside joke thing where it's like, we're never going to do this again. So let's have the most fun we can. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. A couple things. One, hosting is my favorite. I love hosting.
Really?
Yes, I absolutely do. I love
so many people hate it. I love that you love that.
It's my favorite.
He's so good at it. He's so good at keeping the energy up. He's so good at like transitioning each like comedian up.
And I like making jokes off of the last person, like we'll say something, based on what they said. I love doing that because that's always at the top of my, it's like, it's in the moment. It's something that I didn't plan. Those are my favorites. When I say something hilarious that wasn't planned.
Me too, because then the audience is like, oh, he was paying attention. This is great. And that goes back to like we're all in this together. Oh, this is so great. Yeah. I love that stuff. I love hosting. Yeah.
And then also you mentioned Miles helped you with your crowd work. So about a month or two ago, we actually opened for Miles. He was doing a recording for his album.
Oh yeah. You guys in Napa.
Yeah. And so during Miles' set, I was able to kind of go around and sit in the auditorium area, and I was watching his set, and he was like asking these questions and giving these responses, and then calling back on other people that he talked to and tying things in together. Yeah. And I'm just like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah. Because and when you remember that, like every time I remember like someone's nickname that I give them and I call them that later in the set, or, something like that. Like anytime you remember something and you're able to tie it into somebody else that you talk to, that's the magic that I was talking about earlier. Yeah. Like the audience is like, oh, I forgot that I remembered that too. That's great. She tied it in with that. Blah, blah, blah. Like it's just, they love that and it gets them all pumped up and excited. So yeah. Good crafted crowd work is it really is like watching a magic show. I love it so much. And I feel like now with the clips and social media and stuff, like, I mean, we're posting so much crowd work, but you don't want to post material too much because then you'll burn through all your material.
Yeah.
But now a lot of audiences are coming expecting to see only crowd work. And it's like,
oh, wow.
there's gotta be a balance, So I don't know. So social media is a blessing and a curse, I feel like, for this comedy thing.
I feel like that mentality also makes them more prone to heckle.
Yes, exactly. Because they want to be a part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
They think they can make the show better, or, I was just trying to be funny and help you. No.
My favorite, when I used to work at the club as security, my favorite was, I was just laughing.
Yeah. I've never heard that one before. Oh my
I heard
God.
That on a nightly basis.
I was just laughing. Wow.
Like, I was standing right behind you. I was standing right behind you while you were laughing in complete sentences.
Wait, is that when you decided that you wanted to do stand-up? Was when you were working security?
No, it was I did security because of stand-up. So we stopped doing comedy for about 3 years, and we got back into it in 2019, right after we got married. Mm-hmm. And so I went to Tommy T's website to see how their open mic worked, and they're like, now hiring door hosts, and I jumped on it.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was how it worked. That's so awesome.
I just went to the website. They were promoting, they were advertising, they were hiring somebody, and I just emailed them, sent my resume in, the little cover letter about how much I love comedy and everything. And me in, like, it took a little while to call. He even apologized, like, oh, I'm sorry it took me so long to call you, but I love everything about your resume. Can you come in and meet me and this and that? And I was there for about, there was a pandemic, but I was there for about a year before the pandemic, almost a year, and then almost a year after the pandemic.
Wow. Oh, you were there for a minute.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
So how long have each one of you been doing comedy, like, in total?
I started in October of 2009.
I started in September of 2010.
Oh, wow.
But then we stopped from like 16 to 19.
Okay.
Another little time frame. And then it's like, we never like got out of the mentality of it. We were always like, even though we weren't doing it for like this amount of time, we were still like writing about it, and we started writing jokes, and we were still talking about it and talking about when we go back into comedy and this and that.
Yeah, it never leaves. It's always in you, because like when I'm in like a play or something, like that'll be like a 3-month period where I'm doing very few shows, like, because the production is taking the majority of my time. But it's like, and I miss it because it's like a different cup is being filled when I do stand up as opposed to when I'm doing theater. And, but I'm constantly like, oh wait, that's funny. Why did that stand out? I got to write that down. Like I got to come back to this later, like, so I'm constantly you always have that comedy mentality that never goes away.
Hell yeah. So anyway, so we got married on July 13th, and then we were back on stage on July 22nd.
Whoa.
Yeah. We were on the way home. We were just talking about it. We're like, you know what? It's time. Let's
gonna make it work. Because I mean, when we stopped, Sam had a huge shift change. I was working graveyard in hotels, and I take the bus. So it was hard for me to find the time to do comedy in that lifetime of my life. And then the year prior, I had been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, so I was trying to understand what I was feeling and going through, and sometimes I just didn't have any energy at all to be able to do anything. Oh my gosh. So we were thinking of it. We're like, we love you, we miss you, come back. And it came to the point where we were like, it's now or never. We're gonna do whatever it takes. We're gonna because if you wait for the perfect, but the other thing is, you never do it. It's true. Yeah. But also the things that were, quote unquote, holding you guys back are also so relatable to so many people, like talking about being newlyweds and, being diagnosed with that and taking the bus and taking these, these fucked up shifts that are, it's like we can all relate to that, and it's getting to the other side of that. And now we, you guys can talk about that on stage and, because it really is kind of therapy for us, but on the flip side,
us going through that stuff is just making it okay for other people to do it too, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So tell us about some of your, let's get back into more of the acting and stuff. You've been on the Holy Moly show. What else have you done?
I was on Holy Moly. That's crazy. And that was a bonkers experience.
Yeah, what was that like?
You look so cute though.
They were like, yep, let's make you look as terrible as possible. Like neon, like the neon, like flower shirt, a bow in my hair. Like Jeanette, my friend Jeanette Marin, you guys know, when she saw that outfit, she was like, bitch, why'd you let them do that to you? Like, this is national TV. And I got people hitting me up from all over the place who I didn't know, who was just like, where'd you get that shirt? Like, people wanted the shirt. Right.
Did you get to keep it?
No, and I was like, and I wanted it so bad, but it would like belong to production and stuff, so they took it back. But yeah, I wanted that shirt pretty bad.
Yo, this is my new special.
It was crazy. But yeah, I actually got chosen for that because an LA based comic whose name is Mateen Stewart, and he's fantastic. He's very, very funny. He's a good friend of mine. He was on the reboot of The Weakest Link when they brought that show back.
Oh, okay.
And so when he was finished airing, they told him about this, golf show. And they said, but we need to book entertaining people, actors, comedians, but they need to have, something else that we can hype, and not just be actors and comedians. Give us a list of people. And so I was at the top of that list. And he was like, Chelsea would be great on any show that you do, And so they hit me up and they did a phone interview first, and they were like, okay, hey, Chelsea, hey, this is, casting from da-da-da-da-da. Tell us why you love golf. And I was like, what? And then I'm like, oh, we're acting right now. Yes, golf it's been such an important part of my life. Like, and then I just I played the part. Like, yep. And then they went with the aspect of baker, that I was a home baker. And so I actually made a Holy Moly cake for the on-screen interview that we had to do, like the on-screen audition. And then they asked me, once I got cast, they said, can you make that cake and bring it to LA? And I was like, uh-huh. So then I had to make the fucking cake again. And then drive that cake to LA.
Wow.
Drive with a cake for 6 hours.
Like, can you just give me a kitchen in LA?
Right. Right. And I said, you at least need to give me a fridge, so I can put this cake in the fridge. They gave me a fridge that fit a 6-pack of like soda. A cake couldn't fit in it. So this cake, the entire time that we're shooting, is just sitting out in my hotel room. Right. And I was on one episode of Holy Moly, and I was there for 7 full days. Whoa. It was bonkers. The production was crazy for this thing. So yeah, but it was fun. It was a really fun experience. I was really, really excited to do that. So that was a really, really exciting time. Awesome. A thing to be a part of. So yeah, so I did that. And now I'm actually cast in a new show, which will be performing. Where is that? That's in Berkeley at a theater called Central Works. And I've performed with them before. I think this will be my 4th or 5th show with them, I believe. But they have a playwright, like an in-house playwright, and she's amazing. Her name is Patricia Milton, and she's an amazing playwright. And she is very ahead of her time with this play. Tomorrow we actually have our first script read through, and then our rehearsals I believe begin in September. So but this play is about AI. Oh. And I'm like, and like how topical is that right now?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And what it is it's like it like takes place in like a company that's kind of Google, Okay. So it's kind of a Google company, and they hire me to be an ethics officer. And like the whole play is like, where does AI and ethics, can they meet?
Wow.
You know, like where do ethics come in when you're discussing AI, self-driving cars, things like that? When is it not ethical at all to have these things? And it's just like, she started writing this shit like years ago, like 3 years ago. And it's like, now it's going to go into production now. And it's so poignant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're so a magician, dude. Like this, it's so relevant, you know? So yeah, so that's actually the next production that I will be a part of. So that will be opening in fall, probably October. I think October, November, it'll be in Berkeley. So yeah.
Oh wow, that sounds so cool.
Yeah, that's super awesome.
I'm excited about that one. So, and I'm the part I'm nervous about is like remembering all the technology speak, because it's like that character knows her shit, like engineer stuff, and it's like, okay, all right, it's gonna be a challenge for memorizing that. We'll see.
Well, you said that you had created your own format to teach people comedy. Is that something that you've applied to the company that Miles Weber has called Green Room Talk?
Oh yeah. So Miles did that, and he was so proud of that. And to get that going was a really, really big accomplishment for him to do, because he built that from nothing. And him and his wife Heather just they did so much research and so much work to create this thing from nothing, you know, and it's so great. And I love that he wanted to do something that benefits comedians, because we're really not represented, you know, like people love us, people love following us and laughing with us on social media and stuff, but it's like there's not a lot of like represented in like other parts of, you know, anything, you know. So to have like something like this where, you know, this is to benefit comedians, it's like, oh, that's nice, thank you. You know,
like we mentioned earlier too, most comedians are just feral, you know, out there in the world. So it's good that he's going to tame a few of us.
Right, exactly. Tuck it in, guys. Tuck it in. And so, yeah, so he asked me to be one of the writing coaches in there. So, and he wanted to have a diverse group of coaches available. You know, he definitely wanted to have, you know, me be there as a woman, as a person of color, you know, so that other, you know, if people did sign up for classes, they could take their pick and write with someone who understands their point of view or who they feel comfortable with and stuff like that. And so, yeah, he asked me to be a part of it. Dan Gabriel, he asked to be a part of it. I think he asked Kristen Key, who's also, you know, she's a female comedian, she's a lesbian, and she does music. So she plays her guitar on stage, you know, so, and she's fantastic. He's asked Sammy Obeid as well to be, you know, a part of that. So he's asking very, very specific comedians, you know, who all different, very different writing styles, you know.
And accomplished comedians too.
Yeah, I actually, out of everybody there, I'm just like, like I don't have a TV special. Like I've never been on late night. Like, are you sure, dude? Okay. So, but it's fun. So yeah, I wouldn't say that I necessarily took my, you know, syllabus or whatever that I created for this class and applied it to that. But I definitely, there are definitely nuggets that I do pass on to the people that I help coach through Green Room Talk, you know, to help them, you know, don't just grab the lowest hanging fruit. Let's dive deeper into what can be funnier about this, you know, like let's talk about it. It sounds like this is coming from a place of hurt. Are you okay to be talking about this on stage yet? Can we talk about that? You know, like these are the things that I feel like are really, really important to get to the bottom of, because if you take the time to do that when you're off stage, you're going to have a much better time when you're on, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, as we wind down, Chelsea, I do want to ask you about who wrote this shit. It's the absolute best. I love that. That's
Yes.
the greatest show in the world.
That show has such a place in my heart. Look, I have my shirt right here. Look at
Oh, I love it.
I need to get one of those.
I have my shirt right here. Yeah. So who wrote the shit? We actually created in my apartment in New York with my roommate, and we had this group of friends, and we would always do game nights, and we created Who Wrote This. We created it there, and we were all sitting in a circle, and we just thought of a stupid topic. And we're like, okay, what would everyone's answer be for this? What would everyone, and then we would all write down our answers and we would turn them into somebody, and we would just like the show, we would just read them all off and we would try to guess who wrote what, So, I mean, with that, you can look at who's got a red pen, or whose handwriting is this, So there were definitely some holes in that, but that ended up being the game that we always played when we got together. It was like, is it a Who Wrote This Shit night? Are we playing Who Wrote This Shit, and stuff. So, it was such a crux of my New York experience. It was such a big part of who we were. And then when the pandemic hit, I was still really, really good friends with all of those people in New York. I still stay with them when I go and visit, and it's been over a decade now, it's been so long, but the friendship is that strong. And so when the pandemic hit, he was like, remember how we would play Who Wrote This Shit? I have this weird idea. And then it just bubbled and blew up and blew up and blew up. We actually took 6 months to create that show. We dedicated 1 day a week for 6 months. And then we reached out to our friends. We had a friend who did animation, and, he's the one who pieced together the opening sequence. We had a graphic designer friend that we reached out to create the logo. We reached out to one of our musical theater writer friends, and she wrote the music for it. So it's like it was such a passion project, where we reached out to all of our friends because we wanted them all to be affiliated with it. We wanted everybody's little, hand in the, in the thing. So, and then we just started doing it, and it started growing and growing and growing, and we were having such a blast, so much fun. There are still times where, I was in New York in June, and, we brought up a Who Wrote This Shit answer that we wrote in my apartment back in 2012, and it's like, remember when you wrote this, dude? And it was just like, and it's like, oh my God, we're so past it, but it's still so ingrained in us. And it was just such a fun, different show. You've never seen a show like that before,
Oh, yeah.
It was just so fun. And there was talk after things opened up about us bringing it back. But instead we were thinking of tweaking the format to where we eliminate the contestants, and we just take that aspect out, and we just have 3 comics against 3 comics, and we take out the contestant part, and then it would just be more comedic banter, more roasting, stuff like that. And we take the contestant component out of it. And we thought about it for a while, and we just couldn't justify bringing the show back without making money, because we weren't making money. And that's really what happened. Once the world opened up, we were like, I'm fine doing Who Wrote This Shit. I want to keep doing it. It was a passion project. We brought this shit up from nothing, just like we talked about with Green Room Talk. We created this from nothing. Let's bring it back. Absolutely. But it'd be easier to say, let's bring it back if we're getting a little bit of compensation,
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you on that too. Yeah.
So
it was really fun. I really enjoyed.
We loved having you guys on it. It was, so fun. And they're still up
together too.
And they're still up, they're still.
I recently sent it to somebody. Who did I send it to? I was telling somebody about it, and then I sent them the link to it recently. I don't remember who it was though.
And sometimes it comes up in my Facebook memories, oh my gosh, I'll put an old episode on, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is chaos, this is,
yeah.
But it was so much fun, and I feel like it really helped us get through some of that pandemic because it gave us a project, something to create, gave other people something to do. We were all on our computers anyway, so let's play a game, let's put on a show. It
was different because at the time most of the people on Zoom were doing like comedy shows or whatever, this and that. There wasn't a lot of game shows around, and this game show, even if there was other game shows, it had this whole different feel to it, this whole different aesthetic to it, and like you said, it's a collaboration between all these different artists. Yeah,
it was fantastic. And actually, to further illustrate your point, we wanted to do a comedy show. We knew that, and we loved the game show aspect. But really, it was Erie Diamond's match game that we were a part of, and we were playing it, and we were like, wait, is this how we could do Who Wrote This Shit? You know? And so her watching her do it on Zoom, we were like, let's take this but let's amp it up, you know? And so she kind of, her show inspired us to really make Who Wrote This Shit what it was. So actually, hers, definitely helped us create Who Wrote This Shit. It was kind of
her match game was super fun too. I love that.
Yeah. It's that one's a super fun one too.
And you're a regular on the match game.
I am when I can be, when I'm not traveling. I haven't been on it in a while, but I love that one too.
For a long time you were like the permanent square.
Yes. Yes. I'm also the one that gives Erie the most shit. So I think that she has to take little vacations from me. She's like, I need an episode without Chelsea so I can feel like the alpha.
Hell yeah. All right, Chelsea. Well, in closing, I mean, you've accomplished so many things in comedy. What is left for you to accomplish? What are you looking to do in the future?
Oh my gosh, what a deep question. I'm actually filming my very first comedy special in August.
Ooh.
I know. I've never shot a special before. I shot a special with Miles where we were doing like the 2 for the money thing, 2 comics on stage. But I didn't know we were recording, and then he put it out as a special, and I was like, are you out of your mind? Like, I was like, but he was like, well, would you have would your head be in a different space if you knew I was recording for a special? And I was like, yes, absolutely. And he goes, that's why I didn't tell you. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. I hate it. So we did that. But like a special, just for me, I've never done. Just me. So
and this time you're aware it's recording,
and I know that it's recording, and Miles is recording it too.
So that's cool.
Yeah, he what's gonna happen is we're gonna shoot it at Barrel Proof, Casey Williams' new spot in Santa Rosa. Nice. Once he bought 3 Disciples and changed it, I said, well, how do you feel about having me be your first special shot there? And he was like, done, let's do it. Yes. Okay. Absolutely. So in August, I'm going to shoot my special there. Miles is going to shoot it. He's got like a 3 camera setup and all these mics for the audience and for me and stuff. And, Matt, my husband now, he's going to come out, and him and Sydney Steigertz from Sacramento are going to be opening for me. And so I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm just going to be doing, because I've never done a special, I'm going to do all my old material that I'm ready to retire. Oh. So, I'm not writing anything new for it. I'm just doing all my old stuff, and it's just going to be like, let's start over, let's buy a new notebook and write some new shit. So that's what this special is about, is just to kind of, commemorate 15 years of comedy and then put it on a shelf.
That's incredible.
We're done. So I'm excited about that. I really am excited about that. I would love to go on the road more now that my kid is older, more substantial. I have the help of my mom since I'm, back in Benicia, and she and my son have an incredible relationship. So I do have the help of her, to watch him when I travel for comedy. But I think that's the biggest thing that I want to do now is, just get on the road more. And especially as a female, a person of color comedian, having us represented on the road and doing more weekend gigs, I think is really, really important. Cause you see so many, white straight guys, just doing another weekend here in middle America, and it's like, there needs to be more voices, so, and every time I go on the road, I inevitably will have women come up to me and it's like, I've never seen a woman comic here before. That's so exciting. And it's just, it blows my mind because it's like, this has been my life for so long. And so for me to open the eyes to more women in places that I've never been or never performed at, that's what I want. I want to do that. So that's what I'm hoping for. In the upcoming years is to just travel more, keep doing what I'm doing, keep doing theater and stand up kind of in tandem when they allow. And then I'd love to, figure out how I can live with my husband. That would be awesome.
Good goals.
That's about it. That's about it. He's got kids in Arizona. I've got my kid here. So we're both kind of stuck, but it's just like, and we're making it work, the long distance thing. We've been together for, I guess 14 months now or something, but we've been friends for 3 years and stuff. So it's like, we're making it work, but when I sit down and think about it, it's like, I have to book a flight if I want to hug you. It's like, oh, that sucks, So I'd love that. Especially for my son, because my son loves him. Like their relationship is incredible. And when we actually told him that we got married, because my son was the last one to know because he was with his dad that weekend, and so we wanted to wait until I had him in person and we could FaceTime with Matt and stuff. And I said, we got married, and his face got big and he's like, oh, you did? And he was just so excited. And I said, yeah, that means that Matt's now your stepdad. Is that okay? And he said, yes. Oh my gosh. And he goes, wait. Can I call him Raptor stepdad? And I was like, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Hell yeah.
I know. I told that to Matt and he lost his shit. He was like, that's the coolest name. I was like, I know.
Wow.
I know.
That is the coolest name.
Yeah. So incredible. those are kind of my goals right now. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Those are good goals to have. You want to plug your social media?
Yes, let's plug social media. You can find me on Instagram at Chocknilla. That's half chocolate, half vanilla. CHOCNILLA. And you can find my cake page through that as well. It's in my bio. On Facebook, you can just find me Chelsea Bearce, BEARCE. And chelseabearce.com. You can see where I'm going to be at. I think Sydney actually made me a link tree on my website. So now people can come to my city. Like I have one of those now. Like I don't know how to check it, but it's in existence.
But it's there.
It's there. Yeah. Hopefully. It's in some cloud or some screen somewhere, but yeah, I have one. So tell me where to go, guys.
All the tech words.
All the tech words.
It's in the clouds somewhere.
Eventually you'll check them and get back to everybody.
Right.
You can follow me at Funky Sam Medina across the board.
And I'm at She Shines For You, all spelled out, no numbers.
And everything else is at Hypothetical Comedy. Awesome, Chelsea. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. So good. I love you guys so much.